DivePort In allows you to capture input from users, validate and store that information, and include it in displays presented back to your users. Input data can be used as part of regular Diver processing or in real-time displays that provide instant feedback to users entering the data. Key components of any input project are the data tables themselves, the forms presented to users for data entry, and the workflow features of DivePort and Diver platform that allow the data to be integrated with existing displays. At the heart of DivePort are the input tables. These are containers designed to house the data entered by users. Each field in a table has attributes that control the data users are permitted to enter. Field can contain a date, a number, a text value selected from a list, a Boolean true or false, or simple free text. Each table has a primary key or ID column that identifies each row uniquely. When another table is used to present a list of values for selection, the ID for that selected values record is what's stored as the user's input. When a record is added or modified, the creation and modified times are stored, along with the name of the user entering the data. These fields allow for auditing and also allow you to identify the most recent record within a group. Users typically interact with data in tables using forms. A form prompts the user for the expected data and provides feedback about the data entered. Default values can be populated, and selections can be presented as pull-downs or as searchable lists. Date fields will present a calendar for selection. Booleans are presented as a checkbox. Invalid data entered in numeric or data fields will prompt immediate feedback. The field will turn red and the user will not be able to continue. Some fields on a form may be read-only. The ID field is typically locked, and especially when editing a row, you may choose to prevent users from changing certain identifying fields. A form might be a complete page filling the screen in a complex application, or it could be a simple pop-up asking for a single entry or selection. Input data can be used just like any other data in Diver build processes. It's also common to use Spectre dives or tunnel scripts to present a view of the input data to the user. This has the advantage of instant feedback. Once the user makes an edit, the Diver tunnel will refresh and the impact of a change can be seen immediately. When input tables are used as part of a workflow, much of the data added to the table may be based on the context of the user's DivePort session. Stuff like quick view selections and tabular information being presented on the screen. The ID of the row to be modified will be part of the data row, and it's common for many or most of the fields to be initially populated based on existing data or by logic on the row the user selects that triggers the form to pop up. In some cases, such as an approval workflow, the user may not need to enter any data at all. Simply choosing a row and clicking OK on a pre-populated form could capture everything that's needed. DivePort In is being used in applications across a variety of industries and workflows. Targets are a very common use case. While actual sales or activity will be tracked in operational systems, goals or targets may simply be an agreed number that needs to be entered. Targets can be entered per measure or at a more granular level based on product or customer categories or time slices. Hospitals tracking operating room utilization in DivePort allow surgeons to release unneeded block reservations using DivePort. This is an example of an input form that requires no typing at all. The user selects a block, confirms the release, and all of the information needed is available in the context of the dive. Some of DI's applications make extensive use of input functionality to gather data and will then serve as the primary source of truth for the data within their domains. Sales incentive programs are described, maintained, and tracked entirely within DI's Program Advisor, and large physician practices can enter the terms of their contracts with their individual physicians and use Diver platform to track compliance and compute bonus pay based on each contract's terms. So DivePort In offers a powerful, flexible environment for constructing interactive workflows driven by the information you already have in your Diver applications. If you could see ways to use input to fill gaps in your data, please be in touch.